Hi friends, this is Dainty Tank. Thank you for joining me. Welcome back to Please Be Happy. This is part 5 in our series, Poke Tutor in the Upper Eye Card area. See the rest of it. And since you're back, hi. It's nice to see you again. I've missed you, friends. I love engaging with all of you, and I got told about my volume issue from last time, so hopefully this is a little bit better. I am always trying to improve, so thank you for letting me know anytime there's a problem. Let's get started.
Shall we pick up where we left off?
Gay panic. I should expect anytime I click in here that says something, but alright, here we go. Load. It's almost dark out when I finally open my eyes. Just like this morning, it takes a second for me to remember where I am. I burrow my way out of the blankets and then retake my human form, rubbing the sleepiness from my eyes.
That nap worked better than I expected.
Same. Hopefully, Juliet will be awake by now. If she isn't, I don't know what I'll do. There's no way I'm falling back asleep anytime soon. Unlike this morning, when I pass by Juliet's office, there's no light from under the door. I do catch the sound of something going on in the kitchen, so I make my way downstairs. In the kitchen, I'm treated to quite the sight.
Good evening, Miho. I'll be with you in just a moment.
Okay. It's not just Juliet in the kitchen, but 3 bats as well. Oh, they're so cute! Hello, friends! One clings to the back of the chair Aspen sat on this morning, and another is on top of the fridge. As you should. I love you guys. Hello! The third one is perched on Juliet's shoulder. And I think it's the same one that was in her office this morning. Orpheus, I do believe. Juliet's holding a small bag and handing out the contents to the different bats. On closer inspection, I realized that they're bugs. All the bats devour them greedily, including the one nibbling by Juliet's ear. She doesn't seem too bothered and hands them each another treat.
All right, here are the last ones.
Aww. The bats on the chair and fridge finish their snacks and then fly over my head and out of the kitchen. Their wings nearly clip me in the face. The gust they create blows my hair around. The last bat stays on Juliet's shoulder, even after it's finished eating, and then Juliet picks up a small envelope from the counter and ties it to one of the bat's legs.
Thank you, Orpheus. We'll see you soon.
Okay. Launching itself off of Juliet's shoulder, Orpheus takes flight and exits through one of the library windows. Even though he was much bigger than the other bats, it doesn't look like Juliet was fazed by being used as a launch pad.
My apologies, Miho. You caught me just at dinner time for the bats.
I love that so much. Little bat dogs. I love it.
It's okay. I just woke up.
Oh? I take it you had a busy day then?
Well, not really. Just walked around for a while and then took a nap because didn't know what else to do.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're not in survival mode anymore.
I see. I'm sorry to have left you on your own all day.
Aw, it's okay. You're kind of a vampire. It's understandable.
I should have made sure you were taken care of before I went to sleep.
She sure does apologize a lot. Is that what it means to be polite? It makes me kind of uncomfortable. It's not like she did anything wrong.
What are some of your hobbies?
I like to skateboard, and I like to play gay visual novels, and specifically any trans games I can get my hands on. And oh, you're asking Miho.
There are all manner of things tucked away in this room. All that throughout the library.
Mm-hmm.
Hobbies. I don't think I know that word.
Aw.
Something you do for fun, just because you enjoy it.
Oh!
You don't know what that is.
I don't really have anything like that.
Yeah. Although she raises her eyebrows, Juliet just nods. I'm guessing that wasn't an answer she was expecting.
I think I understand. Well, perhaps that should be our first order of business.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you'd find your life much enriched with something amusing to do.
Amusing.
Okay. Like what?
She ponders for a moment, tapping the countertop beside her.
It could be anything. A sport, an art, or even something like watching television. Whatever brings you joy.
Pretty sure I've never tried any of those.
Yeah, I was about to say, has she seen TV? Like, probably, like, walked past, like, a store with them, but, like, never stopped to do it.
Then, it seems we have plenty of options to start with. I know you've done a lot of walking today already, but I need to go into town to run some errands. Would you be interested in accompanying me? Maybe we'll see something along the way that strikes your fancy.
Yes.
Sure. Fine by me. Not like I've got anything better to do.
Facts. With a smile, Juliet gathers up some more papers and envelopes from the table and tucks them under her arm.
Let's be off then.
Let's be off. Leaving the library unlocked, we set off down the familiar path. Juliet maintains a brisk pace, but isn't too fast. I like this a lot more than going slow. I was about to say, are you walking the gay speed? Because there is a gay speed. It's basically like a throttle up, like 2.5 from straight speed.
So, Miho, how are you enjoying Wellington itself so far?
I like it. It's not too big and it's not too small. Like that there's the ocean and mountains close by.
Yeah.
Yes, we're truly fortunate to live in such a paradise.
How'd you end up here in the first place? You said you came from the underworld, right?
That's a great question. Like, how did she end up in Wellington? How did she end up with 3 bats? How did she end up owning a library? Who's the woman in the painting? Which I haven't forgotten about and I really want an answer to. I'm going to make an assumption right now that it was a human she fell in love with way back when, and then that human died from some tragic disease well before their time. Because tragic backstory for the lesbian.
That's correct. Ugh, I was much wilder and irresponsible in those days.
Wilder? I'll see a wild Juliet. Yes, please, flashback me.
But then, I met someone who changed my life. Someone who made me want to be a better person.
Oh.
And part of that meant reinventing myself, with a new life in a new place.
You know, that's very valid. If you find that you want to change, you absolutely can. And moving to a new place is a great way to do that.
Rather like what you've been doing too.
Huh. I can't picture you being crazy like you said.
That's something of a relief, but it was certainly true at the time.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes, it does feel as if I was an entirely different person back then.
You might have been. It's okay that you change over time. It's great.
It can be difficult to reconcile who we were with who we are, or want to be.
I sense a backstory and I want it so bad.
Doesn't seem like you had too much trouble with it.
I wouldn't say that. For one, this was very long ago. And even now, I continue to change. Everyone does.
Facts.
Perhaps in a few hundred years, I'll look back on these days, and they'll also seem like someone else's life.
I love the subtle detail of tucking the hair behind the ear. I know I've said it before, but I'm going to keep saying it.
Maybe.
Not that I think Juliet is lying, but it seems to me like she's just being modest. I may not have known her for long, but if anything, she seems a little too perfect. It isn't too late in the evening yet, so there are plenty of other people out and about too. Occasionally, someone will recognize and greet Juliet, and she always gives them a friendly greeting in return. And it's such a pretty view at night. After walking in silence for a couple of minutes, I clear my throat.
I've got a question.
Yes.
What is it?
Do you always walk places
Okay.
As opposed to?
Flying. Can't you turn into a bat?
Oh, yes. I suppose I can. I do so only sparingly, though.
Oh?
I find that I appreciate life more as a human than as a bat.
Why? That's weird. Like being a fox a lot more. Being a human just feels clumsy. Your arms and legs are way too long and get in the way all the time.
I suppose that's true. It can be quite awkward at times. Or even embarrassing.
Yeah, exactly! I've never been embarrassed as a fox.
I understand. There are certainly downsides. I believe the good makes up for the bad, though.
Oh?
Some things are only possible as a human, or fabled.
Okay.
Like what? I can't think of any, other than talking like this.
Like writing, for one thing, as our dear friend Aspen would surely mention. Or perhaps... like dancing. Have you ever danced, Miho?
Please dance with me, Juliet.
Nope, never. I don't get why people do it either. Don't tell me you like dancing. Is that your hobby?
I must confess that I do enjoy it. At times, that is. I wouldn't call it a hobby.
Please?
But with the right person, at the right moment, it can be quite nice.
Yes.
If you say so.
Find myself saying that a lot lately. Shaking and flopping your body around to music, that's not for me. I don't even know how they come up with this stuff. But I'm trying to remember to be polite, so I keep that part to myself.
So, on that note, I should have asked this earlier. Are there any hobbies that you have as a fox?
I never thought about it that way. But now that you mention it, almost everything is better as a fox. The sun feels nicer on my fur than it does on my skin. Flowers smell better and more interesting when I sniff them. It's more vivid.
Aww. I remember Aspen using that word and explaining what it means. I bet she'd be proud if she heard me use it.
You do make it sound lovely. But are those things you do for fun?
Well...
I almost say yes right away, but then I think about it for a second. I do love those things I mentioned, but maybe they don't fit what Juliet is asking.
I guess not. They feel good, but they're not fun.
That's still valuable too.
So far, we've been following the same path that I took earlier when I went into town. But when we come to a crossroads, Juliet turns the direction of a neighborhood instead of the city.
The first stop I need to make is down here. After that, we'll go look around and see if there's anything fun.
Okay.
Alright, I'm just following you.
Mm-hmm. This isn't the same neighborhood where I hid from Juliet a couple nights ago. Although it's pretty similar. Some of those houses are the sort that remind me of the bugs when I first arrived in Wellington. Oh, the ones on sticks. We stop at one of them, a little one-story house with a porch light on. I follow Juliet to the front door, and she rings the doorbell.
Is this for one of your errands?
Yes, we're delivering those papers that were requested.
She straightens out the 2 yellow packets she was carrying. The door opens, and the young woman carrying a baby stands behind it.
Oh, Miss Juliet! So good to see you!
With one of her trademark smiles, Juliet hands over the papers, and the 2 chat for a bit. I lean against the wall, not involved or listening. When talking to the lady, Juliet uses the same warm tone and softness as when she's speaking to me and Aspen. In fact, if I close my eyes, I could almost pretend that I'm back at the breakfast table with both of them, listening to them go on about books. Eventually, the woman takes the folder and says after saying goodbye several times, we leave. As soon as we're off her property, I turn to Juliet.
What was that all about?
I suppose you could call it another one of my hobbies.
Hmm.
Sometimes, patrons have requests for information on their ancestors, or a piece of history that they'd like to learn about.
Oh? Fascinating.
For example, Mrs. Aliyu wanted to know about her husband's culture so she could teach her new child.
Oh, that's adorable.
I find and collect what's requested, and bring it to those who asked.
You're so sweet.
Whoa. Sounds like a lot of work.
It can be, but I don't mind it. The past is worth preserving, but not everyone knows how. It's my honor to help people do so.
Aw, seeing as you've been around for so long, makes sense.
I have assistants too, such as dear Orpheus, who is delivering a letter on the far side of town for me.
Are all the bats your helpers?
Some more than others. They're friends, not pets.
Oh, okay. They're friends.
And so if they don't feel like helping, then I won't force them.
Oh. To me, it sounds a lot of trouble to go through for someone else, even with the bats helping out. But Juliet apparently likes being inconvenienced. It's the same as letting me stay in her library. Still, that sounds like it could be really helpful in its own search for the traveler. As Juliet leads us to the next destination, we leave the residential area and go back towards the city. I try to keep my eyes peeled for anything interesting. There are plenty of people sitting out on tables having a meal or walking around the shops, but nothing out of the ordinary. In fact, it's not that much different from when I was here earlier. There are more fabled and fewer humans, but there are still plenty of those too. Some of the places I passed by are closed now, but some, like the music store, are still open. When we come to a big building with a lot of posters on the walls outside, we stop.
This is one of our movie theaters. They show all the most popular films, as well as independent ones from local creators.
Oh, that's awesome. Most of the movie theaters that are around in the US
Have you ever been to see a movie before?
are actually like big budget ones and not ones that actually have any sort of independent films. So you have to go to like very specific like art centers that have a movie theater attached to them. And it's harder to get a hold of. I'd love more local theater, honestly.
Not in a place like this. I know what movies are, but I don't think I've ever watched one.
Oh?
You should try it sometime. Maybe you'll find you like them. Movies can make you feel all kinds of different things. Happy, sad, scared, or just amused.
I love crappy movies. I am a crappy movie fanatic. I love crappy movies. They are my favorite thing. Not my favorite thing. They're like one of my favorite things. Like, I'm gonna put this one out there. If you haven't seen it, Jesus Christ, Vampire Hunter. Jesus Christ. I'm getting a lot of giggles around me as well. But yes, Jesus Christ, Vampire Hunter. You should see it. Just see it. Just see it. And enjoy. Enjoy. There is so much in that, and I love it. Like, Atheist Clown Car. Congratulations. The guy who jumps out of the bush. I don't... It's great. It's great. It's great. And, you know, of course, all of the lesbians are the vampires. Well, they get turned to vampires. Well, yes. There's a lot of lesbians and vampires. You should totally watch that. Jesus Christ, Vampire Hunter. It's available on YouTube for free.
Some are good for making you think, and some are good because you don't have to think about anything and can just relax.
Why would I want to watch something that makes me sad or scares me?
Because jump scares sometimes are very fun. That's why we have an obsession with FNAF. But sadness, yeah, I can understand that one. Oh, except for the Owl House. I love the Owl House so much, and it hurts my feelings so deeply. Tina Terrace, why? I love you.
For some, it's fun to explore different emotions in a safe environment like that.
Fair?
When we see something that makes us feel strongly, it can stick with you. perhaps cause you to view things in a different light. And if it ever becomes too much, you can simply stop watching or put on something else.
Facts? There is no shame in stopping something.
I'll try it sometime. Although, I don't know about the sad or scary ones.
There's nothing wrong with that. Everyone has different preferences.
Along the way, Juliet continues to point out different shops and locations that she thinks I should know about, like another library or a museum. I'm not very interested in either of those things, but I smile and nod and pretend like I am. After a while, we leave the city behind and reach the waterfront, just like I usually do. The ocean looks much different at night, with the starlight and the moonlight reflecting off the water. Far out at sea, there are a few lights that must come from boats, sometimes lights in the sky from passing airships. We head down a small path to the boardwalk where we look out onto the water. There are a few empty bucket seats sitting on the ground nearby, as well as some folding chairs. I point them out.
What are those for?
People like to fish off at this pier. They come at all hours, but I believe this spot is used for teaching lessons during the day.
Ooh, lessons on how to catch fish?
That's correct. Is that something you're interested in?
Maybe. It's one of those things that I like doing as a fox, but I don't know if I'd like doing it the human way.
Should you decide you'd like to try, I'm sure there would be someone here who's happy to instruct you.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't want to commit to anything, but it couldn't hurt to come check this out during the day.
I'm glad you found something that struck your fancy.
Struck your fancy.
Is there anywhere else you'd like to visit while we're out, or should we return home?
Juliet, don't worry. You struck my fancy. Let's go home.
Nah, I'm ready to head back. Is there anything for dinner?
Ooh, dinner.
I'm sure we can put something together.
Then let's go.
Nice. Since I already know where we are now, I lead the way home, with Juliet close behind me. It's another chilly morning in Wellington. I'm outside the Bell House waiting for Aspen.
People are gonna think I'm staking this place out. And for once, that isn't true.
Oh, it's after breakfast, but before the sun's up, Aspen invited me for a free drink before they open. But I'm starting to think I've been duped.
Anytime now.
I rub my arms and bounce around to try and stay warm. Right as I'm thinking about picking the lock myself, the front door swings open and Aspen waves me inside.
So anyway, like I was saying, my uncle taught me this trick to make it taste better. You put a little bit of salt in the coffee and it brings out the flavor, right? Not too much. You don't want to make it salty, but just a little bit.
I mean, that's true, and you add a little bit of coffee to chocolate to make that also more flavorful, but wow, that's a lot of energy right up front. Hello, Lena.
Sorry about that. I got a little held up.
No idea why, Aspen.
I was thinking maybe you forgot about me after all.
No, you're not rid of me that easily. I was just...
I tried it and it's really good. Have you tried it? Remind me, I'll make you one. So then I was thinking, if I start doing that every time I make a drink, eventually people will start realizing that their coffee's better when I make it, but they won't know why.
Or you'll have people upset that you're giving them salty coffee. Lena.
Talking to Lena.
Yep.
That can always take longer than you expect or plan for. But she and I often look the other way for each other on certain things.
Oh, good. As you should. Having been a barista before, completely understand. There's sometimes we're like, just don't ignore it. Just ignore this. Here's a chai latte.
Such as letting you in before the store opens, for instance.
Oh, am I not supposed to be here? That's cool!
I'm not supposed to be here? Yes. I am super happy I'm here.
As long as we open on time, it's fine, and Lena and I are the two fastest.
Nice.
You kind of have to be when she's involved.
What do you mean?
I'm sure you'll see. Come on, what do you want today?
I inspect the menu. It's as unhelpful as ever.
Here's a paper copy, if that's easier to read.
No, the problem is the reading. She hands me a little printout menu. It's also distractingly lacking pictures.
Sorry, can't read it.
Oh, do you need a Korean version? I'm afraid we don't have one.
Oh, nah. Can't read any languages.
Oh, yeah. I may as well have told her the sky is green. Aspen stares at me in clear disbelief. This isn't the usual weird look. This is beyond that. She laughs nervously.
You're joking, right?
No. I shake my head. She collapses onto a stool behind her, fanning her face with a menu in her hand. Sweet Jesus. Oh.
I can't believe it. I just can't. So you haven't. Wow.
How would she know? She was a fox. And then she was like traveling around. Like, how would she? I can tell she really wants to say more, but holds herself back.
I suppose that explains a lot. Still, I just can't imagine.
It takes a minute, but she regains her composure.
Anyway, if you want to try something new, then how about our ambrosia latte?
Sure.
It's one of our seasonal beverages with apple and caramel.
Apples and coffee? I've never had that before.
Yeah, that sounds great. Apple, caramel, coffee. Hell yeah.
Yes, well, we're experimenting with the recipe still.
I said that we should try adding more cinnamon to it.
I don't even know where Lena comes from. Suddenly she's just there.
Aspen said it would overwhelm the other flavors, but I add extra whenever I make one, and so far no one's complained.
Lena, are you serious?
Well, yeah. How else are we gonna find out which one's better?
Make two for your guest here.
I'll make one for your friend too, and she can tell us which one she likes more.
Perfect, Lena.
Lena?
The other girl hurries back to the kitchen, clearly not caring about what Aspen was about to say. Aspen sighs and shakes her head.
Right, well, I have to open the registers and put on the coffee. I'll have your drink in a couple minutes.
Okay, thanks.
I hop up on one of the tall stools and wait, swinging my legs back and forth. Before long, the cafe fills with the smell of warm coffee and baking bread. It's enough to make my mouth water, even though it hasn't been long since I last ate. Aspen roams between the kitchen and the front area, always looking very busy. She checks and inspects what seems like every drawer and cabinet in the place while getting ready. Understandable. Lena's busy too, mopping and setting up chairs. At some point, she puts earphones in. Her music is loud enough for me to hear it from across the building. Eardrums! Eardrums! You can actually hurt your ears permanently. Be careful, especially with them in your ear. After a while, Aspen returns to my table, along with a steaming paper cup.
Here you go. One ambrosia latte.
I plop the lid off so it can take a peek at the drink itself. It smells light and fruity. The swirl of caramel syrup is melting into the coffee and whipped cream.
Looks good.
Hopefully it tastes good too.
I take a tiny little sip since it's too hot to drink very fast. The tartness of the apple actually goes pretty well with the coffee flavor.
It's a little sour, but it's not bad. Not as good as a fairy kiss chiller, though.
The fairy kiss chiller does sound great, yes. But again, be careful of the fae.
Well, I can't complain about that.
The chair squeaks against the floor as Aspen sits down across from me.
So, have you decided how you're going to spend your day?
Not yet. What about you?
There's still another 7.5 hours left on my shift, so I'll be here for quite a while.
Oh,
After work, I try to have a social life or get some writing done.
you're writing? Nice.
Although lately I usually just collapse on the bed and take a nap.
I get that feels. After my barista sessions, I would completely throw my feet up and just die on the couch.
Hey, me too! Without a bed, though.
Yes, well, I'm sure frolicking through the flowers and chasing rabbits gets tiring.
That was a little stereotypical, eh? Why is there a need to go there?
Ooh, are there rabbits around here?
I love you, Miho.
Not for long, I imagine. Speaking of which, have you thought about what I said yesterday?
No. I forgot what you said yesterday. What did you say?
About getting a job? It seems you have more than enough time on your hands.
I mean, let her have a day. I mean, you let her have a day, but like, come on. Come on. Don't get a job.
You do know what a job is, right?
Probably not, no.
More or less. I mean, I've seen people at work before, but I've never had my own job before you ask.
Yes, I'm aware. Anyway, you'd have money to buy things you want, and you wouldn't have to steal to get it.
What do I need money for, though? Juliet lets me sleep at her house, and she even gives me food.
Yeah, I was about to say, you've got everything. You've got a house and food. Why do you have to get a job?
I don't mean to sound rude or anything, but Juliet can't take care of you forever, you know?
And why not? Have you asked?
I know.
Ah. Right now, I'm still getting used to even living here. Haven't gotten any thought to what would happen later on. I mean, that's fair. Again, Aspen, I know that this is like visual novel time. So visual novel time is like everything happens immediately, all at once, because we have to progress the story. But I'm like, yes, but like, give her like a week. This is like her 4th day in Wellington.
I don't even know what kind of job I could get. Is there some place that would hire me to steal things?
Is there a place that would hire me to steal things? Yes, probably.
Not legally, no. But maybe you can find a way to use those skills. Maybe you could be a security guard somewhere, or a locksmith.
Ooh, locksmith.
Maybe. What exactly is your job, anyway?
Well, as you know, I'm a barista.
I mean, as you know, she doesn't know Aspen. That's why she asked.
That means I make coffee and tea and hot chocolate and whatever else our customers ask for. Some people rely on our products just to get through their day, so I consider it to be a very important job.
It is the most important job. And you want to always tip your barista well, because they will remember you. And they will give you the better coffee.
If we were to close or go out of business, there would be a great many people who would be distraught over it.
Facts.
Wow! And you're gonna do this for the rest of your life?
Ooh.
Not for that long, I hope. It's not my passion by any means, but I don't mind it.
It's not my passion.
It can be rather exhausting, though, especially on busy days.
Mm-hmm. Busy days, you just keep moving. Just keep moving. I can't say she's selling me on this whole job idea.
What is your passion?
It's this.
Like she's waiting for me to ask. Aspen dramatically pulls out a small notebook and puts it on the table. It's the one I can see her writing in all the time. I lean forward to look at it closely. It's not very big, about the size of my hand, and it's mostly purple in color. There's an intricate gold pattern around the border. It definitely looks fancy. I could probably get a lot of money for this at the right store.
This is my writing notebook. One of them, at least. My passion is writing, bringing stories and characters to life, making people feel what I feel.
I am so happy for you, Aspen. You are a wonderful human who contributes to society.
There's nothing quite like it. So challenging, yet rewarding.
Yes.
It's both my favorite activity and also the most frustrating one.
Oh?
This notebook is full of story ideas, lines that I come up with, or other interesting details. One of the best parts of working here at the Bell House is that I get to meet so many interesting and inspiring people.
That you do.
For example, when you first came in, I wrote a brief note about you. I never imagined that just a few days later we'd be having this conversation.
Trust me, I didn't either. What did you write about me?
For some reason, Aspen's face gets a little red.
I don't remember, just that I wrote something. It's in another notebook, not this one.
Not this one, don't look. Not that she can read it.
My dream is that someday I'll be able to make a living from my writing. In fact, when I moved to Wellington a couple of years ago, that was supposed to be the first step.
Well, that's not always the way it has to be. Over time. That's what matters. And just keep doing what you do and what your favorite thing to do. Like, not that I could say anything, because literally, the Anti-Tank channel is my passion. I enjoy doing this, and I don't really care about how long it takes. I will always do this as much as I can.
It's been taking longer than I'd like so far.
Understood.
Every morning when I wake up, I tell myself that I'm not going to sleep that night until I finish at least a chapter.
That's a lot. A chapter a day? Whoop.
But then by the time I'm done with work, all I want to do is pass out.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Of course, that just puts me further and further behind.
Valid.
I've really only myself to blame, I suppose, but life doesn't make it easy for me.
Don't put yourself in any blame. Sighing, Aspen puts her notebook away once more while I sip my drink.
Saying it like that, I can't fault you for not wanting to get a job.
Yeah?
I'm only here because I need some way to pay the bills. That's just the life of a starving artist for you.
Aww.
Did someone say job? Are you getting a job here? Is this an interview?
Oh my god, hello Lena. From out of nowhere, Lena appears with a cup in her hands.
No, Miho's just a friend. And were you eavesdropping on us?
It's not eavesdropping if you're in public.
Facts.
You should learn to talk quieter if you don't want people to hear you. Like me.
Facts.
Tell me you're joking.
About what?
I love Lena. I love Lena. Lena is my favorite. Lena is my favorite. Hello, Lena. Before Aspen can even answer, Lena turns to face me instead.
Anyway, that's too bad. We could definitely use the help. Hey, why not apply here if you're looking for work? I bet Aspen would put in a good word for you, right? I could do it too. It'd kind of be lying, I guess, since I don't know you that well, but you seem like an alright person. I mean, if Aspen trusts you, you have to be okay, I think. I can go get you an application right now if you want. I printed out a whole stack of them yesterday. Actually, it's the second stack, because the first one jammed up the printer and...
Lena, I am begging you to please be normal.
Lena is normal, Aspen.
What? Tell me why it's a bad idea.
Yes, tell me why.
Do you not think... What's your name again?
What's your name again? Come again? I was gonna put my name for you and like put up all of my honor to put behind your what's your name?
Miho.
Miho.
Do you not think Miho could do it?
No, it's not that. I'm sure she'd do great. It's just...
Wait, that sounds fun. Would I get to work with you?
Yeah, we'd work together. Oh, you meant Aspen, didn't you? Yeah, she'd be there too.
Yeah, she'd be there too. Slapping her hands on the desk, Aspen stands up from the table.
It's certainly an idea. Perhaps one we should discuss later.
Later?
Lena, you and I should be getting to work, don't you think?
Okay, boss.
Please just go unlock the door.
Okay.
Smirking, Lena heads towards the front of the store.
Feel free to hang out for a bit if you'd like, Miho. Although it's going to get busy soon, so I won't...
Oh, wait, I almost forgot. If you need something to do, come play tennis with me this afternoon.
Oh,
Tennis?
tennis?
Yeah, you know.
I know what it is.
Oh,
Is that your hobby?
didn't mean to. Can I go back? I can't go back. Sadness.
For now, I like trying new things.
Oh, I see. This was the menu. Got it.
I'll think about it. I should try something new myself too.
Yeah, you should.
I wasn't asking.
I wasn't asking. Come play tennis with me.
Anyway, you said it yourself. You're totally coming. So, I'll see you there.
Okay.
I can't help but feel that I've been roped into something here, but it's true that I should at least give it a shot. Maybe I'll turn out to like it more than I expect.
Cool.
Lena starts to leave again, but then suddenly jumps back around to face me again.
Oh, right. There's one more thing.
One more thing. How many more things does she have? I could practically feel Aspen's exasperation as Lena runs back and slams the cup she was carrying onto the table in front of me.
Try this. Tell me which one you like more. The one I made or the one Aspen made?
Okay.
With an unnecessary loud sigh, Aspen goes and unlocks the front door herself. I am halfway done with Aspen's drink, but take another gulp, paying attention to the mix of flavors. Then I do the same with Lena's. Lena watches eagerly, fists clenched in excitement.
So, what you think? Come on, be honest.
I can't taste a single difference.
They're both good.
Sure, but which one's better?
Taking another sip of each, I try to detect anything that's different between them, but I can't. Fortunately, Aspen saves me. She looms behind Lena like a phantom.
Lena, don't you think maybe you should go check the croissants?
Aspen, you're terrifying.
Nah, I already looked at them earlier. A couple of them were kind of schoolish, but I tried to massage them back into shape. Don't worry, I watched.
For once, the one cut off as Aspen jerks on her apron strings. She flaps her wings to maintain her balance.
Why don't you go check on them again? Or maybe the muffins, if you haven't yet.
Fine, fine. We all know Miho just didn't want to hurt your feelings anyway.
Aspen releases her and Lena walks off to the back of the cafe like an embarrassed cat, pretending it was her idea all along. After she disappears into the kitchen, Aspen sighs yet again.
I'm sorry about that.
It's fine. She seems nice.
She is nice.
That is certainly one way you could describe her. What I was trying to say earlier is that you can stay here if you want, but I won't be able to chat. Our first customers will be here any minute now.
That's okay. I'll probably go back to the library once I finish my drinks.
All right, I'll see you later then. And don't feel obligated to finish both if you don't want to.
Oh, don't worry. She probably will.
I'm gonna try. Bye!
Like Lena, Aspen also retreats behind the counter and starts to fill the display case with pastries. I wonder if any of them are the croissants Lena was talking about. And that, sure enough, it isn't long before the first customers start to show up. Aspen takes their orders with that fake nice voice that she used when we first met. Already I've gotten more used to hearing her regular speaking voice instead. It's interesting to see that even normal humans like her still pretend to be other people sometimes. I wonder why she feels like she has to do that. So far she's the nicest humans I've ever met. Yes, but like, there's the customer service voice, which is always there. Hi, welcome to our bookstore. What can I get for you today? Exactly. That it completely just flip. After I finish up my first coffee, I toss the cup away, but hold on to the second. I'll drink it later, or something. Aspen waves as I leave the bell house and start making my way back to the library. I've had my fill of wandering around for at least a few days. If I'm going to be bored, I might as well do it while I'm comfy. Job or not, Aspen is definitely right about one thing. I really need to find something better to do with my time. Oh, okay. So there's a lot to do. Oh, only... Am I allowed to do any of them? Oh, this is the only one I'm allowed to do. Okay. So I'm actually going to save us and stop us here. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for being here. I love hanging out with you. You're awesome. You're cool. You're super engaged. I think this is one of the best engagement games we've had so far. So please keep it up. It really warms my heart to see comments, and I read every one of them. So thank you all. I love you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.